Good morning, everyone. And good morning, good morning. Good morning, Lisa. Are you able to hear me okay? Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, guys, let's get started. This morning we have CPI, core CPI, month over month CPI, and year over year CPI. Now, CPI is the consumer price index, so this is basically referring to inflation, right? What it costs us for goods and services. All right. Now, this is usually a big deal, and it typically moves the market significantly, especially when we're talking about the dollar. All right. So, if you guys can see this, that just came up, dollar treasury to react more to high than low U.S. inflation data. All right. So I'll give you guys this and let you guys kind of read up on that so you can have an idea of what's going on this morning. Actually, we'll read it now. It's quite short. It says the dollar and U.S. Treasury yields are likely to rise in the response to higher than expected U.S. inflation data. So really quick, I'll let you know what the predictions are. So for core CPI, all right, and core CPI basically is food and energy prices. I'm sorry, the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. All right, so that's core CPI. Um, all the other CPIs obviously include food and energy prices, right? The change in the price. So they're expecting core CPI to go from 0.4% to 0.3. So basically, that just sounds like they expect inflation to go down. So if we read this again, it says treasury yields are likely to rise, right, in response to higher than expected inflation data. So if inflation comes out higher, guys, this should be a good thing for the dollar. All right, and if that's true, then we're gonna see, like if we look at the daily, okay, what we're basically gonna see is that the dollar is going to rise, okay, and it's gonna start doing this. That's what we're gonna see. So around 8:30, okay, is when the news drop, is when we're gonna see uh, a reaction, right, based off of the data. Okay, so if the data is higher than expected, so if it's anything over 0.3%, we're going to most likely see the dollar rise. Okay, but if it's what they're expecting, if they're expecting inflation to go down, right, we may see the dollar fall. Okay, like this. So it really depends on what's going to happen. Now, regular CPI, month over month, right? This includes obviously food and energy prices. They're expecting us to go from zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.4, right? So that's higher, all right? So again, all of these are going to, come out all at the same time. So it's going to be pretty, mixed, if you will, what the results may be, because they're expecting one to be lower, they're expecting another to be higher. But overall, what the news is telling us is that if it is, one second, all right, here it is. So if it is higher, right, If it's higher than expected, then we'll get a rise, right, out of the treasury yields and the dollar, right? But any falls following lower than expected numbers should be limited, right? It says I can't even pronounce this right now, but it's their had a dad, had dad, senior market strategist at Brown Brothers, right? And they know so risks to the dollar and treasury yields are asymmetric to the upside. All right. He says he is what he says. Cooler than expected inflation would reinforce the case for an interest rate cut. All right, by the Federal Reserve. This prospect is virtually fully priced in by money markets, so that the market reaction should be contained. All right. So basically, they're saying if we get a lower than expected um, um, data, right, then inflation would, that would reinforce that inflation is, coming down, and it's going to reinforce the case that we need to cut interest rates instead of raise interest rates. Now, if you guys know anything about interest rates, when we increase interest rates, that makes the dollar more attractive. People want to park their money with us to take advantage of the higher interest rates, right? But if we cut interest rates, obviously that's going to do the complete opposite, right? So it's not going to make the dollar attractive. People won't, look to exchange their money to, take advantage of low interest rates. There's no taking advantage of that, right? It's like right now, if you have a bank account and you have like savings and you're getting interest rate on it, right? You're getting 0 point blah blah blah, right? But what if you were getting 10% interest rate, on the money that you're saving? You would put more money in there, and you would try to let it accumulate that interest, right, over whatever period of time that is. So I'm saying all this. Let me read the rest, but we'll get to that. So prospect is virtually fully priced in by money markets, so that the market's reaction should be contained. So basically, they're saying that even if we do get inflation to be low, it shouldn't really affect the market, because they're saying that they priced it in already and that things shouldn't go crazy, right? But this is all speculation, right? Because we don't know what the numbers are, right? But we have an idea. So keep that in mind, guys. If inflation is higher, that should cause things to rise, okay? And we're talking Forex, okay? Uh, Typically, the stock market does the opposite of what Forex does. So when interest or when inflation rises, right? Again, that's higher prices to the consumer, right? So again, these businesses are, you know, the foods and the energy and everything else in between. They're charging us more, right? So that may not. Um, so obviously that's not a good thing for us, but that may be a good thing for them. So typically, Forex will rise with good inflation or high inflation in this scenario, and the stock market would typically do the reverse. But this time, it seems like they both may be going up, right? So you may have companies rising in the stock market at the same time that you have Forex kind of, pushing up on the charts, all right? However, a bigger than expected rise in CPI can trigger an upward adjustment to Fed's futures in favor of a firmer dollar and treasury yields. So basically, they're going to be looking to looking to increase interest rates at that point, because we need to bring inflation down, right? So all the people losing their jobs, that's been naturally bringing inflation down, right? Because you don't have a job and you don't have no money, you can't spend it, you can't increase inflation, right? That's the long story short. But if inflation is still going up with all these people losing their jobs, all right, then there's a problem, okay? And we need to get inflation down by increasing interest rates. So please understand, guys, that there's a lot to be, looked at this morning. And if you're a rookie, right, it's not the best day for you to trade, okay? But if you're a veteran, then you understand that initially we're going to get some knee-jerk reaction out of this, right? So maybe we'll get a big push up, right? And then you'll say, oh man, I gotta buy it. Most of the rookies, right? That's where they're gonna pretty much come in and say, oh, I gotta buy right here. And then what's gonna happen? You're gonna get the pullback. Okay, then they're gonna be like, oh shit, right? Maybe I shouldn't have bought right there. Maybe I should have bought right here, right? It's like Bitcoin, all right? When Bitcoin was at 23,000, right? That's when everybody should have bought. Okay, because where is it now? Up at 70 something thousand. Okay, so that's again, that's if inflation is higher than expected, right? We'll get a push up, most likely, we'll tap into, this fair value gap that sits right here, and then we'll probably come on down, right, to set up the intended move, which is to the upside. But again, it's just initial reaction, right? Um, and this is tradable. The dollar is tradable in futures. So if people are taking profits from the initial move, then we'll get that pullback, right? And then we'll start to rise. But I won't go into too much about how it's all supposed to play out. You guys just need to understand that market structure is king. All right. And as of right now, we went from making uptrend market structure to downtrend market structure. And we're in that phase right now of just going down. All right. So when you look at all of this right here, right, this is what we really need to go by. Right. And what that shows is that we have a run, a pullback, a run, a pullback. So what's expected next is another run to the downside. All right. So the way I look at this is if inflation is lower, let me see. Yeah. So if it's lower than expected, then again we may get this drop to the downside. All right, guys. But overall, like the dollar's bearish. All right. So with just simply going off of market structure, pretending like there's no news, right? We should be looking for the sell, for the dollar to fall, basically. All right. So if news changes that, then okay, we adjust accordingly and then we start to take advantage of the dollar rising. But so far, guys, the dollar is very bearish, and we can see right now here on the 4-hour time frame that we got more details of the structure, and simply what's going on is again this run, pullback, run, and all of this is really a pullback to where we kind of had this huge imbalance where we dropped, right, and we created these fair value gaps. So now we're retesting those gaps, all right, and we're probably going to sit here until news comes out later this morning, and then like I said, if it's lower than expected, or like if inflation lowers, then I think we're going to get one of these numbers. All right. But if inflation goes higher, we may get something like this. All right. But I'm expecting the dollar to fall initially. Okay. Especially if the news says that inflation is lower. All right. So right now, guys, with the dollar being bearish, when we look at our major pairs like the odd dollar, we want them to be rising or have the ability to rise. Euro dollar, same thing. We're looking for it to rise. Pound dollar, looking for it to rise. New Zealand dollar, looking for it to rise. Let's remark up the charts, see if we have anything, and then we'll take a look at everything else related with the dollar. All right. So here was yesterday's high and low. All right. We had a huge bull candle, right, that showed rejection of sellers. Now the next day we took out the low and we closed below that. So now what's expected is for us to continue falling by taking out yesterday's low. So if that's the case, then that means the odd dollar has a bearish sentiment. All right. And if that's true, then typically if the odd dollar is going to go down, that means the dollar is going to rise. All right, let's get an alert on here just in case it starts to move. All right, boom. So now on the odd dollar, we have our bias for the day, which is to the downside. So the way this worked, guys, again, this is, write this down or just watch this recording again. I'm giving it to you guys from a high level overview, right, of the main steps that you need to look for when you're trying to get into a trade. Number one, higher time frame, right? Find what the trend is. Basically, we went from a downtrend to we're just getting into a change of character to where we could be headed up, right? But as of right now, it's not like we haven't really created a lower high. I'm sorry, a higher low to, see it clearly. What I mean is, we need to see something like this to where we can see that higher low, right? This is the previous low, okay, but this would be the higher low. And we haven't quite got that just yet. I mean, we still could get it, but you can just see on this time frame it's not that clear, okay? But higher time frame, you find the trend first. So it looks like we may be headed up, all right? Because we just had a break of this high, and we went to make a higher high. So to keep things aligned with the uptrend, we need a higher low, and then we need price to go up and create a higher high. All right, so again, here, higher high, higher low, and there you go. There's the magic, okay? But since we just got that change, we're technically supposed to be getting ready to head up, all right, which lines up more with the dollar, potentially getting ready to fall, all right? So as you look at, you get that first, the trend. So we're in an uptrend. So we're looking for buys, right? That's just the bottom line. Now, there's a huge fair value gap that sits right here. I mean, it's just huge. So, it's anybody's uh, ball game in regards to the odd dollar going to this area to balance itself out, all right? Now, we're already touching that gap. So very well, we can, start to rise off of the odd dollar, okay? So here, as we go down, right, you found the trend, you realize you want to be looking for buys. So now you go to the lower time frame, you just kind of fine tune all your support and resistance areas, your trend lines, what have you, right? And you want to confirm that you're still in a particular uptrend. So once again, we just look to the left, we see we broke that high, right here, right? And then look, you can see run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback. And now what are we going to get? Are we going to get the run? Who knows, right? You just don't know because of the news pending, right? But if there again was no news, we're looking for this to be bullish, okay? And again, higher time frame, we found the trend. Lower time frame, we confirm that we're still in a uptrend. Right now we go even lower. Let's go to the 1 hour, get way more details. And again, every time you go down to a lower time frame, all you're looking for is your support and resistance levels, your trend lines, etc., etc. All right, I'm going to get rid of this huge fair value gap for now just because it's a lot going on. But what you guys will see on this time frame, okay, is that we did have some market structure that we could have marked. I mean, some areas where we could mark the chart up for different things that we see, right? So one, here was a trend line over here, all right? We broke that and we started to fall, right? Two, we also have consolidation in this area, all right? So you mark that as such, okay? And let's see, that's really about it, all right? So clearly we're at some sort of, even though, we were bullish from the daily, the 4 hour, right? Here on the 1 hour, we got a little indecision, right? Price doesn't really know if it wants to continue falling after it broke this trend line or if it's possibly going to continue rising and not really fall anymore, right? So you don't know, right? The way that this works is we just look for price to break out to the upside or to the downside out of the consolidation box. And whichever way it breaks out, typically that's where it wants to go. All right. We're talking 90% of the time. Okay. So if it breaks out to the upside, then we can continue with our bullish sentiment that we got from the daily, the 4 hour, and now, it'll be confirmed on the 1 hour that it wants to be, or that it wants to go up once it breaks out of this consolidation box. Right. So again, guys, if you follow me with this, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. All right. But now, as we push up, from there, we'll start to, do one of these numbers, right? And then we'll make our way to the upside. But when you see consolidation like this, guys, you just got to be patient, okay? So we could factor in, this 15-minute time frame and try to identify, the whole Asian manipulation, right? We'll just come here and put the consolidation box right there. And now, because we're early in the morning, we're now in the London session, right? We've gotten out of the Asian session with simply, it's just simple consolidation, right? Here is the high of the Asian session, and here is the low of the Asian session. So typically, whichever way it breaks out of first, if it breaks the high or the low, that's typically the false move, right? So what that means is if we come down and we break the low, okay, then we're probably going to tap into some order block, all right, which is right there, okay? And this is the previous day's low. This is the lowest price got to yesterday before it started rising. So we'll probably tap into here, make some little reversal pattern, and then we'll start to head up, okay? So if you see this, chances are news is going to be bad, right? And then the dollar will fall, causing the odd dollar to rise. All right, guys. So I really hope, I'm bringing this home for you guys with just breaking down from all the way from the daily down to the 15-minute, how things are going to go. So let's play this in reverse, right? That's if it breaks the low of the Asian session. What if it breaks the high of the Asian session right here, right? What if it breaks that high? Well, then what's expected is that we look left. We see some fair value gaps right here. Okay. We also see the previous day high, which sits right here. So chances are price is either going to come to the previous day high or that fair value gap to balance out, give us some kind of reversal pattern, right? Or just showing us that the bears are coming up. Bears are coming in, and that the bulls are having a hard time getting past this area, right? So we'll either break back in to the range, and if this happens, then guys, the dollar most likely will rise, causing the odd dollar to fall. Okay, so that's how that's really going to play out. And again, it takes a lot of patience to let that happen so that you can be on the right side of the track when you finally see what the chart does, and about the manipulation, and what the trend is, and you're trying to line yourself up. Okay, so try to understand this the best that you can, because it will absolutely make you a skillful trader. All right, guys. So that's going to be the gist of how you guys want to be looking for your trades from a higher time frame going all the way down to a lower time frame, which is what we call multiple time frame confluence. All right, and from that, you can factor in the Asian session manipulation on whether or not it breaks the high or the low of the Asian session, but if it lines up with the overall trend. So again, if we're thinking our dollar is going to go up, then we want to see the low of the Asian session get broken, some kind of reversal pattern at a previous low, right? And then we expect it to go up. If we think that the odd dollar is going to go down, what we want in the Asian session is a break of the high of the Asian session for it to tap into some fair value gap, some order block sitting to the left, and then give us a bearish reversal pattern, and then we'll be bearish on it. All right, it's that simple, guys. All right, we already got some kind of indication that it wants to start falling from the break of this trend line. Even though we've been rising up, the structure has been broken, so you can't ignore that. All right, so going from up to now down, there's a big possibility that we'll do a little push up, take out the high, reject this fair value gap sitting to the left for the order block, maybe a little higher, right? It might push up like this, and then kaboom, it'll tank, right? So mark my words, guys, Watch when, 9:30, 10:30 hits, and these things start to play out. You guys are gonna think I'm psychic, all right? But I'm not. I just understand the Forex cycle, right? So everybody gets in this and they're just, buying or selling off of their emotions, how they feel from what they see, having no true understanding that there is a cycle to the way the market moves, right? If you get that, then you'll be on top, okay? But let's see what we can get now, all right? I'm just going to scan through and we'll see what looks good. Hey guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer you. And again, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Okay, Euro looks bullish still. Okay, and so did the odd dollar off the daily still, even though we broke that trend line. We still have a huge fair value gap that we can tap into before rising. All right, pound. Same with the pound dollar. So we broke the high, made a new high. We're coming to pull back, and then we'll probably, head up like this. But I can see that we may get just a little bit more drop to where we broke, and then we might head up. So this one's going to be a bit tricky, especially with news pending, but it's not ready yet. Okay, that's just the main thing that needs to be known, is that we have to be patient for this. I'm just going to put a little horizontal line here to, nope, that's not what I wanted. Let's do, there it is. All right, and we're going to make it green to represent that it is now support. Okay, let's move on. New Zealand dollar. Looks more bearish, especially with the equal highs right here. Just kind of showing us that it fell to get higher. Okay. But again, we're sitting at a huge fair value gap right here. So we could bounce off of this and rise. So again, a lot of these non-dollar based pairs are looking a little mixed, but more bullish than bearish. Okay. So just be careful and take a look and wait. Right. This pound odd, right? My team, we sold this yesterday, and we are now up 37 pips, and it looks like we're going to get the drop to hit our take profit. So if you guys look at this from a lower time frame, you can see the reason why we got in the break of this trend line, all right, showing that price was going from up to down, right, lower low, lower high, basically coming back to test where we broke. And this is why I keep telling you guys, when you at least show up and you see that, oh man, price broke right here, and then eventually it came right back to that same area that it broke before it dropped, it's like taking candy from a baby, all right? But you got to show up to see all of this and get this, right? But just marking up the charts a little better, right? So pound odd, we've sold it, and you guys can sell it too if it pulls back to about right here, right? You'll have your order right here, and then you wait for the bears to show up one more time, right? Just like it did here and here. This is a huge bear candle, but it's really like this. This is what you want to see. This part right here, all right? Right here, all right? You get that bull candle come up to the zone, and then you get that massive bearish engulfing candle that comes down. If you get that, take another entry, put your stop here or above the previous day high, which is best, and then aim for the weekly low or lower, all right? But my team is in this for a sell, and it's obviously working out in our favor at the moment, all right? So pound odd looks good for the sell. Pound cat, let's get this marked up. Okay, you guys can see this high to the previous, when we look left, this was the previous high. Kind of got there in that zone before. Let's just put another little horizontal. All right, so came up to that zone, hit it once, got close again, and now we're right back in it, and we started to fall from it. Again, guys, major falls almost each time we were at that zone. Huge fall right here. This was bananas right here. That was 36 days. It went almost 1,000 pips. That's crazy. Okay. But now here we are. We're back up at that resistance area. You can see that we are in a basically a uptrend. Okay. When we look from this low all the way up, we're still trending up. Okay. So if we do the market structure, we got run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback, and now we're at that support level in the trend line. So guys, I'm expecting a run to the upside on pound cat only if we can't break below this area. All right. But if we break below that, then we're most likely going to continue to fall. So when you go to the lower time frame, what you can see is, oh, sorry, is that we're making lower highs, lower lows, right? Lower highs, lower lows. But now we're tapped into this demand area, all right, right here. And we tapped into it to the T. So again, guys, we got an imbalance to fill. Well, not really yet because the candle hasn't closed, but we've got plenty of places where there's fair value gaps to the downside that need to be balanced out. Okay. So basically what I'm getting at is I'm expecting the pound cat to rise. Okay. And here we almost got a 1 to 3. So we can really take this right now, guys. As a matter of fact, I think I am going to take it because we have filled all the imbalance here, right? We filled it, but we did not rise, right? We came down, we filled this imbalance. We filled it, but we didn't rise. But now we're sitting at the order block, right? We came down to the order block, and now we got rejection. And I believe we're going to rise. I can go down to a lower time frame to get more details. And this is what it looks like, right? So that indecision candle, the bulls show up, the bears do a little dance. Now the bulls are showing up. This is all I really need. So in the next 18 minutes, this 30-minute candle will be closed. And if it closes above, this candle, then it's a go. All right. That's just simply what that is. We go to the 15-minute time frame. And here we got 2 minutes left on the candle. So we can kind of wait this out. But guys, let's just go ahead and buy pound CAD right now. Let's look at what our risk is going to be. Only 28 pips, guys, to make 76. That is money. Okay. And it's music to my ears. So we're buying pound CAD right now, guys. All right. 28 pip. Let's just make it an even 30. All right. And take profit. Let's make it an even 80. All right. And voila. All right. There you have it. So here is the play that I'm going to be taking on the pound CAD. Again, this is not investing or financial advice. Please seek an advisor. All right. This is what I'm doing, guys. And here we go. Pound CAD. Okay, market buy now. Entry price is this. Stop loss is 1.72034, and that's only 30 pips. Okay, your take profit is 1.73134, and that is only 80 pips. All right. So, guys, look out for this to play. Again, yes, from a higher time frame, we started making that downtrend structure, but a lot of times, when from a higher time frame perspective, again, you see that we were in an uptrend. So that downtrend that we saw on the lower time frame is really just a pullback to the overall uptrend. This is what people have a hard time keeping in keeping together, right? Is when they see what the trend is on the higher time frame, they go down to the lower time frame, and then they see that trend change. They see it go from up to down, and they're like, oh, okay, well, now things are going to fall. Well, not necessarily, right? They were falling, while it lasted, but now that it's at support on the higher time frame, it's time for it to rise. All right. Again, it could fall. I don't know. I don't think, well, I know there's no news for the pound or the CAD that's happening this morning, but you never know what's going to happen in their economy during the day that could cause it to fall. Okay. But from a market structure price action standpoint, this is all bullish, guys. All right. So please don't miss out on this one, as things look really good for the buy. Right. Very nice tap into demand. This is what we wait for, right? So it was bullish, and then you wait for the bears to do all of this pullback to this order block so that we can now, have the bulls show up. All the banks are going to put their new positions in to get in at the low price that they did before, and then it's money, right? You're getting in on the same side as the banks, and that's what makes this beautiful. All right. So pound CAD, we got one. All right. And let's move on. Pound CHF. Okay, so pound CHF. This is the candle that we're on right now, but we clearly broke yesterday's low. All right. So what's expected is for us to continue going lower. And here's a swing point right here at the end, but then here's the previous week low. So this is as low as we got last week, is to right here. If we do a quick measurement, we're talking 50 pips to the low. But if we go to the swing point, we're talking 95 pips. All right. But let's just look at this once again from a bird's eye view. And you can see at resistance, right? We broke above that, but then we fell to respect it as support and to continue rising, right? So we eventually broke back in to this area that was support for a second. It's now once again resistance. Okay, so this was a false break. All right, and now we're back in, and you can see again this big up move. Now we may be beginning to fall. So how you look at that is you go to a lower time frame. All right, and now you can see, right, this nice trend line that's right here. Okay, so you can aim it out a little further, right about there. All right, and we had a few touches, one touch, two touch, technically three at this area, but instead of rising right off of that old resistance, now it was support at this point. We didn't rise all the way. We broke below. So guys, pound CHF is now looking bearish. We even broke the previous low, which is right here. Okay. So not only did we have a break of the trend line, significant break, right? Not a tiny one, a significant break. We also broke the previous low. Okay. So anytime you have a break of a low or a high, right, you have the break first, then you have the pullback to the area that you broke, right? So you're either going to we're already pulling back to this low that we broke, but we most likely will pull back to this trend line area that we broke because we had a significant push down that gave us imbalance. Okay. So the market wants to balance itself out first before it continues to fall. Okay. So if you know this, right? Like if you just understand this, this is what allows you to take advantage of pending orders, meaning you don't have to stare at the chart and wait for price to come all the way back to this area that it broke. All you have to do is come right here, set a pending order, a sell limit, right? And you can also go ahead and put in your stop loss, your take profit, right? And this is what we want. So we're looking at 34 pip. We can crank this to 50, all right? Get right above the previous day high, which is perfect, right? Just in case we wants to make a little deeper pullback because there's a fair value gap that sits here, right? I'll just draw this all out so I can illustrate it for you guys, right? And kaboom, right? That's a fair value gap there. And then obviously the one that we may create right about now. But, we don't need this one for now because the candle really isn't closed. But look, we can go and do this. Push all the way back up, boom, hit this, right? And then begin to fall, all right? That's what I'm expecting. So really you can have two limit orders, or, you can have one, right? It's the choice is up to you. But what I'm getting at is how you analyze the market, right? With understanding how the cycle moves and how price action moves to be able to set yourself these pending orders where you don't have to sit at the chart all day, right? You can go do what you want to do throughout the day. And guess what? If price does what you expect it to, your order will be activated and you won't have to, you'll be hands off of the whole experience, right? It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Trust me. Pending orders make you feel invincible almost, all right, especially when they play out in your favor. All right, so here I'm definitely going to take this one, right, because even if it gets here, yes, this is a higher area to sell from, but it's going to get here before it gets there. So I'm going to go with this sell limit order, again 50 pips, and then I'm going to crank it up to 100 pips for our take profit so we can get a 1 to 2, right? And kaboom, when we look left, look, we can just kind of push this bad boy right to this low, all right, that swing low. And when we look at it from a higher time frame, okay, whoop, there it is, right? Look at that swing. Went big time down and then boom, big time up. All right, so that is an area that we're going to be attracted to because right here, okay, right below that swing is where the money sits, guys. Behind here is everybody's stop losses who bought from this area, right? They made a lot of money, but their stop losses are back here, right? So now that we've had a change of character, we're heading down, right? We had our break. With every break, you get a pullback. After the pullback, the bears will show up and will start coming on down, seeking liquidity. The market does two things, guys. It seeks imbalance and liquidity. If you guys understand that, it will be game over. All right. Please hit that like and subscribe button for me. All right. So let me give you guys the play on pound CHF because it looks good. Very, very good. Okay. Pound CHF. This is a sell limit. Again, guys, this is a pending order. Make sure you put sell limit and not sell stop. All right, you will be regretting that. All right, entry price is that. Our stop loss is going to be 1.12866. That is for even 50 pips. Take profit. It's going to be 1.11187, and that is for a cool 117 pips to the downside, guys. These are looking really, really good. All right, let's check on pound CAD, and look, guys, we're in profit. What do you know? All right, coming back down to that lower time frame. So we did get that previous 15-minute candle to close as a bull candle. Now, these three little candles, again, some of you know this, some of you may not, but 1, 2, 3. This is technically a morning star candlestick pattern. Okay, so with that, that's a bullish reversal candlestick, not a chart pattern, but a candlestick pattern. All right. And again, like I said, it's a bullish reversal. So all that big move down that we've now had a candlestick pattern to tell us that we may see price reverse to the upside. And guess what? We're in a buy and we're in profit. All makes sense, right? Again, guys, rock with me if you want to really understand this stuff. Forexwithbain.com. Do not miss out. All right, guys. The water is perfectly fine. All right, but give me a moment. All right, so now again, guys, over to pound CHF, and we have our pending order set. Man, this looks very good. Very, very good. All right, pound New Zealand. Okay, also, you know, my team is in this for a sell, and we're slightly in profit. I do expect us to continue falling. Yeah, so we got just a little bit of a resistance right there. So again, I just expect us to continue heading down and getting somewhere near our take profit. As you can see, huge imbalance that needs to be filled. It was kind of filled right here, but you know, we still got that order block that's unmitigated. And I told you guys, the market looks to seek imbalance and liquidity. This is a major swing. So as we're coming down, we're looking to take out this, and this. Okay. So we're in a sell on the pound New Zealand. Pound JPY. All right, pound CHF is doing something. May just be falling a little bit. All right, so yeah, guys. The other thing is we may not get price to pull all the way back to here, so this order may not ever activate, and we may miss the drop. Okay, so you know that happens, but you know you got to pick your poison. It's just what that is. All right, pound JPY. It's always a huge one. All right, let's get to the daily. All right, so we got the previous stay still mark. We're respecting it right now, and we're starting to push up. When I look left, I can see that there's a huge fair value gap right here. Okay, stretch it on out, and that's exactly what we did. We tapped into that fair value gap, and it looks like we're getting ready to rise. All right, guys, look at the structure. All right, once again, market structure tells you everything. Run, pull back, run, pull back, run, pull back. Okay, run, pull back, run, pull back. Now here is where we never made a new high. All right, so we made equal highs. We had a double top. All right, and now we broke the neckline. So technically we should be bearish. Okay, but it's because of this fair value gap that we may not get that fall. Okay, so this is really a tricky one. It's actually more mixed than it is strictly bullish. But now that you're coming down to the lower time frame, you can see. All right, let me get rid of this, all this stuff. Okay, and this was once resistance, and I can get rid of it for now. But what you guys can see here, okay, is a nice little trend line right there. Okay, and we technically just broke that trend line, guys. This is actually a bit of a falling wedge or a channel. Okay, you guys can see that. So now we broke out to the upside. What did I say? Every time we break, we pull back right to that same area that we broke. How ironic is that? That's exactly what it did, and now the bulls showed up from that same area that it broke out. Guys, this should continue to be bullish because this falling wedge into this fair value gap that it mitigated gave us a bunch of confluences, right? One, the fall the falling wedge is a bullish reversal pattern. Also, we filled imbalance at the fair value gap with equal lows, which makes it a double bottom. So we have a double bottom inside of a falling wedge with the breakout, with the retest. And now I'm going to do one additional thing is put on our Fibonacci from high to the low. And what do you know? We took out, that 61.8 and we started to push back up. So this is where we're expected to go for take profit, right? And we could potentially come all the way back up to the previous week's high because we have not been there since we, dropped, okay? But guys, I'm bullish on GJ, all right? And this is what your position will need to look like, right? You can buy it absolutely right now with the stop right below the previous week low at 37 pips, or you can put it behind the double bottom for about 67 pips, right? And guys, just aim for the gusto. Okay, that's a 1 to 3. You're looking at 258 pips. GJ does those kind of numbers daily, almost. All right, it averages that throughout the week. It averages about 270 some odd pips. So believe me when I tell you that this could easily play out within a day. Okay, but this is how you want to get into the GJ. So take a picture, take a screenshot, do what you guys got to do to see, how you should play entering the GJ. Again, just to buy right now, 67 pip stop loss or 37 pip stop loss. Pick your poison, okay? And, just set it and forget it, all right? Everything, you have plenty of confirmations. Bearish reversal chart pattern within a bearish reversal chart pattern, all right, with the breakout, the retest, right? So we're talking 4 or 5 things on top of, Fibonacci, making it 6, okay? Plus the imbalance being filled, okay? So we have a lot going on for GJ. So guys, for right now, the surefire ones are these pound pairs that we've evaluated that don't technically have news coming out this morning, and we won't get a lot of whiplash and sporadic volatility and what have you. So they are the safest to take, without having to eyeball the chart. But for the dollar, again, we may get that drop or we may get a complete reversal. We have to wait on it before we can determine what we want to do with everything else. All right. I'm going to glance and I'm just, tell you guys what's on the dollar-based pairs, and we'll look at the commodities and the indices really quick, and then we'll call it a wrap. All right. But here on the dollar CAD, it looks bearish. Okay. At the break of the trend line, we broke this low, right? Made a new low, and now this is a lower high where we reject it. It looks like we're going to fall, guys. So a lot of things on the dollar are looking very bearish right now. So when the news comes around, don't say I didn't tell you. All right. Dollar CHF also looking bearish, right? We broke this low right here. We pushed down, made a lower low, came back, pulled back, rejected, and now the bears are showing up once again. So we are still looking bearish on a lot of the dollar-based pairs. All right. Here on dollar JPY, just a bit of a different story. All right. Hold tight. Okay, we broke above yesterday's high. Okay, so now now it looks like we're heading up, but really, we're just retesting resistance, right? So we broke it, and guess what? We're right back to where we broke. So we could still fall on the dollar JPY, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to be very careful, even though it looks like it wants to continue rising. Yes, it broke yesterday's high, but until we break above resistance, we won't, that'll be our confirmation to buy it and look for it to continue pushing to the upside. But as of right now, if we look at it on the lower time frame, you can see that yes, we broke low, did a little consolidation. We broke the high of yesterday, but now we rejected right here, the same area that we broke previously. Okay, same area that we broke previously with the imbalance, and now we're starting to head down. All right, guys, so things are looking very bearish on the dollar. Let's look at gold. All right, my team is in it for a sell. and we've been burnt by gold all last week, okay? And now that the dollar could be bearish, gold typically rises when the dollar falls. So, this is a very touchy trade to say the least, because now it's at support. And if the dollar falls, well, this bad boy will rise once again, and we would have lost gold once again. All right, guys, you have weeks like that where you take L's back to back, or you just don't have a good trading week and it happens. You can't throw in the towel. You just got to charge it to the game and keep going. All right. It's just the way it is. Okay. So gold, again, did break that trend line, but we needed to break below support to give us more confidence that it will continue to fall. Right now, we're in profit just about 20 pips, but it's going to be very touchy. All right. If good news comes for the dollar, or any news comes out and makes the dollar rise, then we'll definitely see gold tank. Okay. Um, but man, it's going to be so touchy. All right. Oil. Um, Looks like we have gotten this break and we got a pullback, so we may continue to drop on oil. My team is in a sell on oil. So we're looking for oil to basically drop. All right, and one more second, Nas. Okay, my team bought Nas last night, and we went up. We made about $90. All right, off of the push up. We pulled back, and now it still looks like it wants to rise, uh, going to the upside as we've created a bit of a higher low right here. So just setting an alert to be notified of when it actually does push up, to know that we more than likely will hit our take profit. And guess what? If the dollar falls, oh, this bad boy is going to shoot to the moon, right? And we're talking roughly from what price is now, a 350 point move to the upside. All right. So please, have your eye out on NAS for a potential rise. Okay, because we're still in the mix a little bit. We can still drop, like, everything is uh in the mix because of news, right? So, even though this looks one way, news could absolutely cause it to turn around and go the other way. So be careful, all right? Have your stop losses in place. SPY, look at, oh my God, just like, wow. Like, that's so crazy how it just kept making new highs, new highs. SPY was also one of those that rose. We didn't take it for the buy, but it definitely broke. It's out of the Asian session, right? And did its little manipulation thing, and then we saw that it was going to rise. So it's still kind of in the mix. It could rise up to here, or it can fall down to any one of these. Time will tell, especially as we have news pending. Right, so a little mix on SPY, but then US 30. Again, my team got into it for a buy yesterday from about here. We made 105 to the upside, but now we've pulled back, and it looks like it kind of wants to go down. Right, that's what it looks like. But again, we just have to wait it all out to see, what news does, guys. Just know, if the dollar falls, these indices are going to have a field day. All right. And I mean, even if the dollar rises, the indices are going to have a field day. But you got to, wait to see what the dollar does, is what I'm talking about. All right. So, guys, if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, I will be more than happy to answer them. So giving you guys the floor. Go ahead. All right, guys, if there's no questions, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord so that you can get in the mix and really understand this Forex stuff to start making some money. All right, guys. But in the meantime, in between time, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Be safe out there on the road, and I will see you guys later. All right. Peace. Have a good morning, guys.